Hey, I just wanted to say, some people who may be watching this may be saying, who's this guy to talk about the Most High? Who's this guy to be talking about the commandments? Who's this guy to be talking about Christianity or Jesus or Allah or Buddhism or talking about the Wiccans? Um, I'll say this: from the ages of 18 to about 40, more like 35. My life was in constant flux. Every 1 to 2 years, I was meeting a different person. And when you meet a different person, you're dealing with different personalities, because they come from different backgrounds. Every 2 to 3 years, I was changing locations, so my environment changed. From one place, it might be hardcore, next place might be laid back, the next place might be party central, plus hardcore. And then even then, when you change within that location every 1 to 2 years, I wouldn't say 1 to 2 years, every 6 months, you're meeting different people because there was a constant change, constant. So what I learned was that I had to be mindful of my surroundings, watch who I was around, choose my friends wisely, and know myself. And at 18, you don't know who you are. You may think you do, but you don't. You're just starting to come into your own because that's the time that most of us are leaving our homes for the first time, getting a taste of life. Um, and the majority of us are born, we live, and we die in the same state, in the same town. Um, and I was not either that fortunate or I was fortunate to move around. And that there are times when I think, like life would have been a lot easier had I stayed where I was born and raised. A lot of the trials and tribulations I went through, I would not have gone through. But then I look at the guy that I am now and the way I made my survival instinct definitely was kicked up to 100. So my view in life, especially when it comes to the Bible, or my relationship with the Most High, it was earned. It was definitely earned because I can look back and I can see the different commandments that I had broken, different lifestyles that I had led, that made me the person I am today, forged by fire. Adversity makes you stronger, and you definitely have to work on uh, your mind, your body, and your spirit. If one is weak, another has to take over to take up the slack. So to make yourself a more viable commodity to the people around you, it is definitely um, a plus. To have more experience, not necessarily more life experience, because you could be, 25 and have gone through a whole bunch of stuff, and you have your stuff together and you know where you're going. Unfortunately or fortunately, it took me a lot longer. Um, so say all that to say this: that these things that I say, they're not from ego. Um, it isn't. It is something that the Most High has me do. One of the things that I do pray for when I pray is that His words come from my mouth. That I only speak when He needs me to speak, and my actions be His actions and not my own. Because if they were my own, they would be selfish in nature. Because that invisible thing that we all possess called the ego, it does take over from time to time. And nobody is immune for it. No one is immune from it. It's just something that you have to be, like I said, mindful of. Like your surroundings, you got to be mindful when that ego pops up, because your ego is not your amigo. It is a liar. It will lie to you every single time, because it's that thing that you can't see. When you look into the mirror, you don't see what other people see. When you speak, what's coming out of your mouth is often misconstrued because they are hearing what they want to hear. Um, so again, I just say that to let you know this is not egocentric. It is not something that I sit around and say, hey, let me talk shit to people. It's not. I'm fully aware of my faults. I'm fully aware of my insecurities, and I'm also fully aware of my strengths and what I bring to the table. And hopefully, as time goes on, you will too. You will understand uh, that this is not something that I do um, for pleasure. I do enjoy it, but it is actually not so much as a calling, but I heard of Most High when He spoke. And I say that not literally. I say that when the things in my environment spoke to me, when He was speaking to me, um, things happened at a point in time where I was able to settle down a little later in life than I'd like, and I was able to hear it. And fortunately, there was a medium outlet that I could look to where there were other men going through the same things that I had gone through, and then I knew I wasn't alone. Once I knew I wasn't alone, I started to study. And fortunately, I found a good teacher, and regardless of how anybody feels about him, and I learned. So next up for me, is definitely a name change. Um, Getting myself together again, spiritually, mentally, and physically, because this life is not an easy one. This road that we're on is not necessarily um, one that is meant for everyone, and it is meant to be that way. You know. So again, you have a good night, you have a good morning, you have a good day. Uh, See you later.